Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here. Welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today is an excellent day. The reason being is we have gotten some cool new information from the Datamine. I was wrong about the next character that's going to come out. Today I'm going to be going over what exactly that information is that is in the Datamine, is telling us what is going to be on the next banner. So if you don't want spoilers, now is the time to stop the video, move on to something else, read a book, play the new version of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. The Junon area just came out, and it is freaking awesome, by the way. But if you do want to see what's going on with the game, stay tuned. The first thing I'm going to do before I go over and check out the new Datamine stuff, so I'm just going to go into the notices and show you guys which of the new recent banner weapons have been added to the regular pool. So Yuffie's Arctic Star has been added. For those of you that didn't get it and or want it, it is there, and it is an excellent weapon. I highly recommend it. We also have Glenn's Ultimatic, which when it came out was a very good option for a non-elemental weapon in the game if you didn't have any of the Final Fantasy IX crossover stuff. However, now that we have so much of these new banners, I think that this is going to be less of an ideal choice now. We also have Red 13's Canyon Caller, which in my opinion was a little mediocre. And then last but not least, we have also Lucia's Thunderbird, which also seemed a bit mediocre to me. Alright, so that being said, let's go check out the Datamine. Alright, so I'm going to head over here. We're going to go down to Discord. I am in the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis Discord right here, so any of you guys can check it out at your own whim. Alright, so you go down here, we go to Datamine. I'm going to show you guys just everything that dropped last night. So the first thing we're going to be getting is a co-op battle with Shiva and Bahamut. So Bahamut coming to co-op is going to be pretty damn cool, I'm not going to lie. I'm super excited to be taking that on with other people. Alright, we also have here... Alright, so we also have here a one-time only perform a 10 draw for 300 paid crystals. Alright, so I'll check that out later when the new banner comes on live tonight and I do my kind of review of the whole thing. It looks like we're going to have Rufus here in some type of event where he will be weak to X Sigil and physical recommended attack along with the Scorpion Sentinel right here. We also are going to have a 7.77 million downloadable pack right here. Okay, that seems pretty standard. Looks like the great success rate of weapon enhancement is going to be increased 20% to 50%. All right, so this is going to be the time to be doing your weapon enhancements. All right, and the weapon enhancement quest rewards are also going to increase to 50%, so that's going to be great. It looks like we also have a missions campaign where if we clear all the missions, we'll get a total of 20 draw tickets. So I'm always happy for free tickets. And last but not least, probably what all of you guys have been waiting for, the new gear. So we are going to have a Zack and Matt new weapon featured draw. Super excited about this. This is a costume that was actually shown in the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis beta version of the game. I've been waiting for this to come out for a long time. My only question is that this is obviously not a costume tailored for the Final Fantasy Rebirth crossover. And so I'm thinking that maybe this is not a Rebirth crossover banner. I think that this might just be a featured banner in between the two. As far as I know, the Final Fantasy IX crossover event lasted for 1 month and had 3 banners. However, it looks like the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth crossover is only going to be lasting for about 2 weeks, and so we might only be getting 2 banners for it. So they might be dropping this in the middle just as something to keep us all sated in the meantime, although I think they could have just dropped 3 Rebirth crossover banners. However, this could be limited. I'm not really sure. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments below so that other people can read it and also be completely caught up. Alright, so let's go on to the next one right here. This is going to be Zack's Shinra full dress uniform. Honestly, a little surprised on the R abilities here. So we have boost HP and buff/debuff extension. You know, like, how does Red 13 get so screwed? He gets a costume finally. I'm talking about the Canyon Caller costume. And they're giving everyone that Yuffie, what was originally Yuffie's unique R ability on a costume, buff/debuff extension, but Red 13 literally just gets debuff extension. Like, throw the frickin' dude a bone here. Like, excuse the pun, but come on. Now this uniform. It looks amazing. And I do love buff/debuff extension. However, when you see the sword, you're going to see why I'm a little bit confused as to the R abilities. All right, so let's move over here. This is going to be the wallpaper for it. It looks absolutely amazing. Super excited about it. And here are the new weapons on the banner. All right, so we have the ceremonial sword Z for Zack, which I love a gold sword. It just looks so damn cool. I'm super excited. I love Zack. I'm a huge fan of him. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out here, and the first thing that I notice, is that this is insanely high damage, guys. Inflicts up to 1400% non-elemental physical damage, and drastically increases own physical attack. So this is like Tifa's Amaranth's Claws, except more powerful than her new guide gloves and Cloud Zidane's sword, plus it boosts its own physical attack. However, I know what you're all thinking. There's got to be a drawback, and there is. So if you look here in the ATB cost, it costs 5 ATB. We have never had an offensive ability attack type so far in the game in Ever Crisis that has cost 5 ATB. That's really high cost. So this thing is going to hit like a freaking monster truck. However, it's going to be slow, right? Which I'm guessing is meant to make up for how strong this thing is. I'm going to go into the actual math. I'm going to bring up a notepad, and we're going to do the math on which weapon would do more damage over 100 bars of ATB. Tifa's guide gloves with her at a physical attack rating of 3k, or Zack's ceremonial sword with him being at a physical attack rating of 3000. All right, so I'm going to get to that in a second. First, I'm going to go through the rest of the data mine just to catch you guys up. Now, Matt is getting a weapon here as well. It's called the Centipede, and the command ability is called Recovery Circle. It's going to be a 5 ATB charge, and as you can see here, it increases all allies' physical defense and restores up to 59% of their healing potency. This is insane. So far, Barrett's true viability in the game has been his assault gun, right? Super necessary for clearing floor 70 of the Cetra Tower. Just an amazing all-around AoE P-Def up weapon. This basically knocks it out of the park. This is going to not only AoE increase up physical defense, but also heal everyone. So it's basically the assault gun and the fairy tale, or Matt's prime number, fused into one. Now, is this going to be able to boost allies' physical defense up to high? We don't know yet. My guess is that no, because that would completely eliminate Barrett's viability with Assault Gun. But even still, this is a complete power creep on his prime number, right? Because once you have this, you're not going to be using prime number anymore. Now, I am curious about the R abilities that are going to be on this weapon. There are going to be very important going into this. For example, if we go back and we look at Zack's costume here, buff debuff extension does not really pair so well with this super strong non-elemental physical damage sword. Now, if you pulled for the twinkling star sword that Zack had, that costume was essentially perfect for this sword. HP and physical ability potency up, I believe is what it was, is going to be amazing. Zack is going to be the strongest non-elemental physical damage dealer in the game, although Tifa and Cloud are going to be very, very, very close, and I'm going to show you guys how on the mathematics on that in a second here. So yeah, this is a really, really tempting banner. I don't know. We're going to see later tonight when it comes out if I decide to pull or not, but I do love Zack. I love this costume. I love this sword. I wish the costume better fit the sword itself, but I think I'm going to be checking in the game later to check Zack's Halloween costume for Black Whiskers. I believe that gives physical HP and physical attack up, which if it does, that'll work perfectly fine if you don't have the costume from Twinkling Star. All right, so let's move on. Okay, it looks like there's the Zack and Matt featured new weapon draw. All right, so I think that's going to be it. Other than that, we just have get all kinds of luxurious rewards. We're going to have looks like a 5-star gotcha ticket, some Matt-specific weapon parts, some Zack-specific weapon parts, and some other stuff, some other goodies going forward. All right, so I am super, super, super excited for this. I'm curious to see what there is to see about this banner. So I'll be letting you guys know when I do an update patch review later on tonight, and then I also review the banner as well. So yeah, so before we get into that, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to bring up this, let's see here. I'm going to go back to the game, and I will bring up the notepad right here. All right, let's make this a little bigger. Okay, so I did the math. It's not perfectly accurate, but it's close enough, right? So this is going to be kind of differentiating what is stronger over the course of 100 ATB. Tifa's guide gloves at OB10 or Zack's new ceremonial sword, right? And so if we have 100 ATB divided by 4 ATB, which is how much the guide gloves cost to cast, we're going to have 25 abilities cast in that 100 time frame. Now for Zack's sword, he's only going to be able to cast his ability 20 times. So the guide gloves are faster, but Zack is going to have a built-in physical attack buff built into it. Now we don't know how strong Zack's physical attack buff is going to be. We don't know if it's going to be mid at max or if it's going to go to high. I am going to assume that it's going to go to high because of how slow it is. So let's do the math here. Now, I have the information here on, and I got it from this website, which I will link in the video description if you guys want to check out exactly how the mechanics of figuring out damage work in this game. But essentially, when you have a physical attack buff up at low tier, from what I understand, it boosts their attack by 10%. At mid tier, it's 20%, and at high tier, 30%, right? So both characters in this comparison are going to start out at 3,000 physical attack. However, Zack is going to be boosted to 3,900 attack because of the 30% boost from the supposed physical attack up high boost from the ceremonial sword. Now, this is going to be the formula for figuring out your damage, right? We're going to have basic attack damage, either physical or magic, times the stance multiplier, times the crit multiplier, times crit damage potency, times skill multiplier, times buff/debuffs, right? So let's see here. I already added in the buffs to this physical attack. Now, so let's see here. Your Tifa has 3,000 physical attack and uses a 1,300% non-elemental physical skill on an enemy. The attack crits. Keep in mind that in this kind of theory craft, every attack is going to be critting. We have a 5% crit damage potency, and we're at max stance moves. So the way we're going to do it is the basic attack damage times the physical attack. So we have 0.155 times 3,000 physical attack times 1.5 stance times 1.5 crit times 1.05 crit potency times 13 is the skill, and times the buffs, which I already inputted. We don't have any buffs on Tifa. So she is going to be hitting on average with 3k attack and 1,300%, 14,281 damage. All right. So she is going to be hitting 14,281 25 times, right? Which is going to give her 25 times 14,281 equals 357,000 damage she's going to do over the course of 100 ATB. Now, Zack is going to have 3,900 physical attack. I'm just giving him the high tier physical attack boost on all of his hits, even though he won't actually have that, right? It might wear off. Realistically, if he's continuously casting this throughout the fight, he's only not going to have it at high for the very first cast, right? But then every other attack, theoretically, is going to be at high tier physical attack. So Zack is going to have 3,900 physical attack, use a 1,400% non-elemental physical skill on an enemy. The attack crits. You have 5% crit damage potency, max stance boost. So it looks like I actually did the math wrong on this. I times that by 14. So let's go down here. I'm going to redo the math on this to figure out what Zack's is, because it's actually going to be stronger. So hold on one sec. Let me figure this out. All right, so go to my calculator, and we are going to do 0.155 times 3,900, right? Times 1.5 times 1.5 times 1.05 times 14 equals 19,993. So Zack is going to be hitting for almost 20k per shot. Now, if we do 19,993 times 20, we're going to get 399,876. So we're going to go here and put this at 399k. So over the course of 100 ATB, Tifa is going to be doing 357,000 damage, and Zack is going to be doing almost 400,000 damage. However, although Zack is still out damaging her, if Tifa has any other physical attack buff, for example, if you're running Yuffie with the Arctic Star, she is going to overtake him. So it does kind of even out in the end. Both Cloud and Tifa with a dedicated buffer, I think, are going to be out damaging Zack here just because his weapon's slower. However, Zack is now more than viable in the non-elemental weapon category of the game, which is something I'm super psyched about. Other than having his black whiskers for the Water Imperil, he hasn't really had any like true viability in terms of content. So I'm super excited. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the day. Hope you guys are stoked on these spoilers. I'm excited for the banner tonight. I'm curious, are you guys stoked? If you guys liked the video today, and you're interested in future content, drop a like, sub to the channel. That being said, hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, and peace.